It's been nice traveling all around Europe and stuff and seeing how much you guys hate each other. It's nice. It's nice. We got here about 10 days ago. We escaped. I don't know if you follow U.S. politics right now. But the jokes are just oozing out of us. Ooh, my government is providing a lot of material. All these years of paying taxes finally paid off. A couple weeks ago, Trump got shot at, and he survived. He's a changed man now. You know, just 10% less ear, but he's a changed man. And the whole Republican Party has rebranded now. You know MAGA? Yeah. That now stands for Man Almost Got Assassinated. Yeah. Someone shot at Trump multiple times, but it didn't kill him because right before the shots were fired, he turned his head 45 degrees. And if he had turned any more, the bullet would have pierced his skull. If he had turned any less, the bullet would have pierced his skull. Exactly 45 degrees to the right, might I add. Not the far right, okay? Not the far right. A little 45 degree win over some moderate voters, right? You know what I mean? And the bullet just grazed his ear, man. And people were like, whoa, that was staged. And people were like, oh, it was Biden who set it up. It's like, come on, relax, guys. It was both, okay? There was 2 assassins. They double booked. Right? One was trying to stage it. One was trying to kill. They're like, I didn't know you were going to be here. You didn't tell me. I mean, I like to take both of those allegations seriously. Like, okay, if it was staged, that means that Trump knew exactly to turn his head 45 degrees. Would you trust Trump with that kind of plot? Was it exactly 45 because he was the 45th president? Are there layers to this? Also, let's be honest, if Trump set it up, then why was it a white guy who shot? You know what I mean? It would have clearly been a migrant. That would have worked very nice for their campaign. Now it's like, was it a setup by Biden or the Democrats? I mean, let's look at the chronological events, okay? About a month ago, the polls came out. It was very clear that Biden was starting to lose to Trump and a lot of key battleground states. So they're like, all right, let's have a debate and level the playing field. That didn't work out so well for Biden. He took about 13 Ambien before that event. Finished 1 out of 100 sentences. So then his polls dipped even more after that, and everybody was like, we got to get rid of Biden. But Biden's like, I'm staying in the race. And all the top Democrats were like, he's staying in the race. And Obama was like, he's staying in the race, people. And we're like, do they know something that we don't? Like, this is weird. This confidence is scary. And then a week later, it got even worse. He called his Vice President Trump. And he introduced Zelensky as President Putin. And we were all very concerned. We're like, this guy's gotta go. And then the next day, Trump gets shot at, but it grazes his ear because he turns his head 45 degrees. And then 4 days later, Biden's like, you know, I'm out the race. And we're like, okay, that's a little weird. I will say, also, another reason why it might be the Democrats is they hired a white guy to shoot him, so, you know. But basically, the new candidate for the Democrats is Kamala Harris, who I believe is the vice president. I'm not exactly sure. Not 100% sure, actually. But I don't make jokes about Kamala Harris. I don't. She's part of too many minority groups. I would get into too many flavors of trouble. I'm not interested. So laugh all you want, you edgy and sensitive comedy spectators. Okay, but Kamala Harris, as far as I'm concerned, is a strong, female, black, Asian, South Asian, mentally challenged person, and you will treat her as such. She's been part of many voiceless, powerless groups, and now she's the vice president, which is the most voiceless, powerless position a person can have in the entire universe. I already got in trouble for that joke, so don't worry. I told that joke, and afterwards, a very nice, young, special needs man came up to me, and he was like, hey, that was messed up. I'm like, you're right, I should not have said mentally challenged. He's like, no, looping her with us, that was messed up. Don't ever do that. You're gonna ruin my campaign. A lot of things have happened in the last. Julian Assange got freed a couple weeks ago, yeah. A lot of people are happy about this. A lot of people are like, who is he? Julian Assange was the founder of WikiLeaks, which released a lot of important information to the public that a lot of governments didn't want us to know, and so naturally the governments went after him because they don't like truth, and they locked him up, and now finally he's been freed. Now, of course, there are some allegations against Julian Assange that we should take seriously, and when you like someone, all you can say is, well, I hope those aren't true, you know? There's an allegation against Julian Assange that he was having intercourse with a woman and he removed the condom without consent. Yeah, you hear that? That's the sound of men saying, I didn't know you couldn't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to ask before you remove the condom. It definitely changes the whole event. And yeah, I hope Julian Assange didn't. I really hope he didn't do that, because if he did do that, it's serious, because he is known for leaks. You may not like that joke, but he would want it to be released to the internet. The Olympics started, and most people are not excited. The Olympics in Paris. Paris, the most sophisticated city in the world. Oh, we're from Paris. We're from Paris. Paris, so sophisticated. We're so sophisticated when we protest, we shit in the river. That's what we do. So classy, so classy. I was on a train to Paris, and this woman sitting next to me, she was like, are you in the Olympics? I was like, why would you think I'm in the Olympics? What sport could I possibly be in? Beard growing? And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, oh my God, am I sure? I didn't think about that. Wow, I totally forgot I'm in the Olympics, and I should have checked my emails. And she's like, I bet you're in the Olympics. I'm like, just please leave me alone. And she's like, just tell me. I'm like, ah. So I put on a hijab and she left me alone. Yeah. They banned the hijab at the Olympics in Paris. And they say it's because, oh, this is our national law in France. We don't have outward displays of religion, which is true, but you know it's targeting a specific group of people. So I got the inside scoop from some of the locals after they shit in the river. And they're like, yes, the French, they don't like Arabs. I'm like, for real? You don't like us Arabs? Then why'd you colonize us for hundreds of years? Huh? You think about that? It's like a little bit? You don't have like a little bit of a fetish? You don't have a little bit of that olive fever, you know what I'm saying? You like us Arabs. You can't just change your mind later on. You already put a ring on it. Yeah. They had 5 Arab colonies: Lebanon, Syria, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco. That's 5 rings. That's the 5 rings in the Olympics this year. For the sake of equality, I'm going to start a rivaling Olympics. It's going to be based in Baghdad. Yeah, and everyone wears hijab. Everyone. Even the men wearing hijab. It's called the Halal Olympics.
I'm ready for a woman president. Who's with me? Yeah. Like, not Hillary if there's another option available. I can select for another option. I just think a lot of people like me that are ready for a woman president. Doesn't matter, you know what I mean? I mean, the Republicans don't have a solid woman candidate. I want to see a Republican man so determined he's willing to change his gender to be the first woman president. Boom, hold up for that. Like if Donald became Donna, I'm in. What's up? Jeb can't fix it, but Deb can. You know what I mean? I'm gonna run for president one day, like in 2036. Gotta wait for the standards to become a little more lax, you know? People will be okay with a president who smokes pot, and my first stand-up clip will still be on YouTube. We'll be okay with it. You know? We can have a Middle Eastern president. We're just last on the list. I know that. I know. It's just how it is. I understand. Okay, we have a woman president coming next, a Latino president, a Jewish president, gay president, Asian president if they want to be, Samoan, Alaskan Native, Antarctican, the last Mohican, full black, and then Middle Eastern. I think that's what I know where I stand.
I had a friend recently who was like, yeah, we're living in an era where like bad guys win and good guys lose. I was like, isn't that all of time? Sometimes I do wonder if the world is ending because, like, the movies, like, we were remaking all old movies, you know? Like, we've run out of ideas. That's scary. As soon as they make a remake of Dude, Where's My Car? Oh my God, we are done. That's the end. It's funny to me how a woman might fake orgasm, pretend like she had an orgasm when she did not to please her partner, whereas a man will do the opposite. A man will pretend like he didn't come when he did. So you have two fake faces going on at the same time. They look very different. One's like, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that feels so good, oh yeah. The other one's like, everybody knows you get that full tube of toothpaste from the store, you're like the toothpaste king suddenly. Like, I got so much toothpaste, who wants to have a sleepover? Squirt, 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 squirt. I'm using it as whiteout, you know, I'm shaving with it. I'm cocking things around the house with it, pouring some out for the homies. And then a week later, you're already at like half a tube. You're like, how did that go so fast? That first half goes away in the first week, and that second half, you like save it for 3 months. Floss, though, floss gives you no indication of when it's gonna finish. When a floss is done, it's done. You ever be like, oh, I'm gonna floss today. Actually, just gonna do one tooth. That's all I can do right now. You ever try to floss with that little teeny bit of floss? You get it stuck in your teeth right away. Like, now I got corn and floss in my teeth. There's like a little piece of floss flapping on your lips. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm out of floss at home. I gotta get more floss to floss this one out. But when you get that full thing of floss, you got wrapping it on your wrists. You have so much. I put on one bedpost and then the other. I use no hands. Like, zing. I'm making guitar strings out of it. I'm slacklining with it. I'm putting on a board. I'm solving crimes with it.
Sammy Obeid!
I like to touch my crowd, guys. So I just tested positive for coronavirus, and so sorry, dude. I'm kidding. The results haven't come back yet, but China was amazing.
Does anybody here miss saying bless you when somebody sneezes?
So there's not a lot of famous Lebanese entertainers out there, Lebanese American. Salma Hayek, there's Shakira, Sammy Obeid. Yeah, Obeid is Arabic, but when I travel, I put an apostrophe after the O on my passport, so it looks Irish, you know? I'm half Lebanese. Leban in Arabic means yogurt, so we're yogurties, because we got a lot of culture. But I put Lebanese on my dating profile, and a woman asked, what ethnicity are you? Which made me think, oh, she can't read. Or she thinks Lebanese is like a disorder. Like, how long have you had Lebanese for? Well, I was born with it. When both your parents have it, you're like twice as likely. She's like, is there a cure? Yeah, an apostrophe.
I love math. In fact, I love math so much that growing up, I didn't curse, and one of my friends would say fudge instead of the F word. That was too corny for me. So instead of saying the F word, I said function of a single variable. It flows off the tongue. You mother function of a single variable. I once said that to a friend. He's like, how'd you know I had a single mother? I was like, oh, so sorry. Function of a single variable. People remember function f of x. Like, most people remember that, right? It's pretty hard not to remember f of x as the function, right? Because it's true. Like, every time I f my x, we end up showing up to functions together. Believe it.
Did you know the moon, that one, did you know that it's slowly drifting away from Earth? I just learned that a few months ago. Yeah, the moon's leaving. Only a couple inches a year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but like, what if your husband or wife or your significant other was like, I'm just gonna start moving away a couple inches every year? And then you're sleeping in separate beds and separate rooms. I guess that's all marriages. But anyways, it's kind of weird that the moon is leaving and that there's no news coverage of this. Of course, because it's important, you know? The news is all the same shit, right? The moon's leaving, dude! You got liberals and conservatives biting their heads off. Like, great, you made the moon uncomfortable. Thank you so much. The moon wants to leave now, and it's going to go to orbit Mars. That's what's going to happen. And they say it's going to collide because it won't stand the gravitation. So there goes both our colonies, you know? People are always like, this isn't a big deal. I could live without a moon. You kidding me? No moon, no tide. Surf's up, bruh. Yeah. The wolves are going to be howling at nothing. And the further the moon gets away, longer lunar cycles, which means longer menstrual cycles. I'm telling you the truth. Yes, that time of the month? No, that time of the year. That's how it's going to be forever. Longer ovulation, which means giant babies, okay? You heard a regular baby cry? It's a giant baby. Yeah, good night moon has a whole different context now. Sorry, too real? They're saying that teenagers nowadays are more depressed than ever in history. Like ever. Do you think that's true? Or do you think this is the first time we asked them? I don't think they had those surveys 100 years ago, before those things called child labor laws. I actually looked it up. The first survey that asked teenagers how they felt was in 2005. That's when we started to care. You know what the old survey was before that? It was when a parent asked their kid, are you sad? And the kid was like, yeah. And the parent's like, I'll give you something to be sad about. That was the old survey for thousands of years. The first child labor law was in 1920. So this is a very auspicious year. 2020, we're celebrating the 100-year anniversary of ending that atrocity called child labor. So that's a pretty big deal. Yeah. And now they're more depressed than ever. So I say we put them back to work. Learn perspective. They used to work in coal mines. If your kid's ever bad, just put a piece of coal in their stocking for Christmas. Like, what's this? It's your origin story.
Really cool. And, I was raised by my mom and my aunt and my grandma because I didn't know my dad growing up, you know. This was like San Antonio, Texas. He was this Mexican dude. I knew him like a little, but like not really. The last memory I have of him was I remember I went to this, we were supposed to meet at Burger King. And I went to Burger King. And he was supposed to meet me there, but mom dropped me off and he never showed up. And that sucked though. that just blew right there. But anyway, flash forward later in life. I'm in Dallas and I'm like, you know, I'm living out there. I moved around a lot. I had a lot of stepdads. So anyway, I was in Dallas and there was this thing, this is so stupid. It's called Donuts for Dad, which it was like the school would like have all the dads. Everyone's dad would come in for breakfast, and they also had muffins for mom, and I was covered on muffins for mom, because I know my mom, but Donuts for Dad was a mother for kids like me, and you know, I didn't know my dad. So it was a tough time, and I was also this friggin' fat kid. I remember I would pass out a lot, like I passed out on field day. I thought I was fast, I did the 50-yard dash, I signed up for it, and then I passed out, and it was just, it was bad. So anyway, life was just really crappy, and I was just like, it was around Father's Day, and just all these things just sucked, and I remember I got a package, and it was like, it said from my dad's name, you know, and I was like, what, this is crazy, and I opened it up, and there was like all these Pokemon cards in it, and I was really into Pokemon at the time. In fact, I didn't have a lot of friends in school. The one friend I had was this little, like straight from Mexico kid that like, he didn't speak much English, but I remember we bonded over like, we both had cards, and he was like, Pikachu? And I'm like, Pikachu. He's like, I'll give you my Charizard. And I'm like, man, it's really nice, man. So I got this package with all these freaking Pokemon cards. There was this letter written like, hey, I just want you to know I love you. I'm out here. Hope you're good. Love, Dad. And I was like, this is awesome. It had all my favorite stuff. But obviously that was from my mom. And You know, I think I figured that out a few years ago. I was like, how does this dude, some like dude, San Antonio, Mexican, like, okay, I'm gonna find my son, send him some Pokemon cards, because maybe he's into that. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah. Moms are good, I guess. Yeah.
I think we can all agree.
I do split-second impressions. They're very, very short. What I do is I channel the aura of the celebrity. I bring them to life. So give me something that we all know. Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll do one at a time. First one was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here's my split-second impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Split-second impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did you see it? I'm not just doing random stuff. I'm channeling the aura. What's next? Give me someone else.
Dave Chappelle.
Okay, we got Dave Chappelle, Donald Trump, and what was over here? E40. Split-second impression of Donald Trump. It's all on the lips. And now I'm going to do split-second of E40 and then split-second of Dave Chappelle back to back. Split-second impression of E40, then Dave Chappelle. Split-second impression of E40. These are not easy to do. Do a lot of practicing in front of mirrors.
Hey guys, so I'm super gay and I grew up in Florida and I didn't come out till I was 25 because in Florida you gotta wait. You can't just be gay and black. You can only be one. So I picked black because I didn't have a choice. And so I remember in high school, like around 10th grade, everyone started like dating. Like guys and girls started dating and I didn't want to feel left out, so I needed someone to date. So I remember I asked out this chick named Amber Flippo, and I asked her out on MySpace. That's how long ago this was. I messaged her on MySpace, so I'm like, hey Amber, I think you're really pretty. I'd love to go out with you sometime. Which in retrospect, she was pretty, but like not to me. She was just pretty, like aesthetic girl. And I messaged her, and I wish I could go back in time to like read this conversation. But I remember I said something like that, and she replied back to me. She's like, oh my God, Akeem, that's so sweet. I'd love to go out with you, but I just can't. I like my men to be more manly. And I just wish I can go back in time and be like, bitch, me too. I love a manly man. Like, what are we doing? We like the same things. But I think basically what she was saying is like, oh no, Akeem, you're gay, and I don't want to be the one that makes you find that out. Like, I'm not gonna deal with that. Which is great that we didn't end up going out because then we might have slept together, and and then I wouldn't be a gold star gay. So that's it.
Middle Easterners, we solely have the power to end police brutality. Anytime in America when we see a police officer apprehend a person and it looks like somebody's gonna escalate the situation and we know at any minute it could get ugly, all we have to do is yell, suddenly the police officer and the potential victim hug each other out of fear, like, no! Why are we fighting over that bullshit? Man, this guy's about to end it all. As you saw with 9/11, the one thing that brings black, white, Latino, Asian together is hatred for the terrorist, man. And you're like, Sammy, but then they're just going to shoot you. Well, I didn't say it wasn't a jihad. That's what we do. It's a jihad. That's what I'm proposing, is a jihad for Black Lives Matter. Who's with me, guys? Who's with me?
Lee, you're on the air in San Francisco.
Obeid for Sammy Obeid. Hey, Howard.
What was that?
Oh, I don't know. Talking my made-up Riley language. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Hey, I want to know how many times over the break did Robin Florentine?
How did you and Jimmy do over the break? Did you see each other? Did you get closer, or is it pretty much over?
We saw each other.
Obeid for Sammy Obeid. Sammy Obeid. Sammy Obeid. What was that? Oh, I don't know. Talking my made-up Riley language. Oh, I don't know. Talking my made-up Riley language. I'm sorry.
What's up, y'all? This is Sammy Obeid, local aspiring politician, local Whole Foods shopper, mandated community service doer. Today, we're going to get high and solve depression. This is High as Truth. So today we're smoking Tri-Fi. It's a hybrid. It sounds like Wi-Fi and it sounds like trifles. Want to take a hit?
Yeah, sure.
Just out here in the forest of Wuhan.
Oh, yep. Do one sit-up.
We're feeling good?
Yeah. How you doing, bro?
How am I doing?
Yeah.
I think that's the first problem right there, is how you doing? It's always such a loaded question. And it's always very difficult to answer. It creates anxiety, which creates depression, which makes you worse than you actually are. How is a kind of measurement. Who is a measurement of which person? What is a measurement of which object? When is a measurement of which time? Where is a measurement of which location? Why is a measurement of which meaning? People always think that why is the most complex of the question. Actually, it's how. People are looking for meaning in life. That's why people are watching this video right now. We're obsessed with the why, and because we can't find the why, we get sad. When really, why is not that complicated. Why is whatever you want it to be. How is a story of the actions you must take to get from point A to point Z. That's
It's the come up, right?
Yeah, we assign happiness as a binary thing. You're either unhappy or you're happy. It's a multi-dimensional array of feelings. And when you ask someone how they're doing, the person immediately thinks of a linear thing. Going like, I'm feeling great because I just got out of jail. Things are going awesome. I know a lot of people who went to jail and they are unhappy when they come out. They miss jail, like jail.
You know a lot of people that went to jail?
I do. I wouldn't say I know a lot of people who went to jail, but of the people I know who went to jail, half of them got sad when they came out.
Really?
Yes. The common responses to how are you doing is good. Or
yeah, you're an asshole if you don't say good, man, because then I gotta ask you a follow-up question.
Yeah, now you're feeling bad, but you're telling the person you're feeling good because you don't want to ruin their day.
Right.
So now you're feeling bad and you're a liar. And that makes you feel even worse. Or you're like a good person who empathizes with people and you're like, oh, that's sad, and you sit there in the sadness with them. Which, sure, that's what the good person does, but like, you put me in that position by saying that to me. But I put you in that position by asking you how you are, right? But society put me in this position to ask you how you are out of formality. I can see that you're sad. So if I don't ask you how you're doing, suddenly I'm an asshole. Because society says,
you have to give a fuck.
You have to give a fuck. Nobody needs to know how you feel. It's nobody's responsibility. It's not even your responsibility. I don't need to know how I feel. I can just be. The moment I try to qualify exactly how I'm feeling is the moment I can say that I could be feeling better in some way.
Right.
And that is the root cause of unhappiness.
Self-awareness?
Yes! Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that wild turkey. This turkey has never, ever assessed once in its whole entire turkey life, am I a happy turkey or a sad turkey? Not once. Easiest life hack for happiness, go in nature. If you go in nature, give it a couple hours, and let's say, sure, maybe you're in a deep, deep state of depression, go for a couple days. If after a couple days in nature, you're still unhappy, kill yourself. Do you get that moon? People associate moon with night. But the sun and the moon are up there throughout the day and night. The sun's just on the other side. The moon is in the day sky half the time. You just don't notice it because the light makes you too dumb to see the moon.
So light makes you less bright.
The human mind, this beautiful instrument, has the ability to locate a point in consciousness that makes it feel happy because it can imagine whatever contingency is necessary for that happiness to be achieved, right? If you believe sometimes the world adjusts for you.
Right.
The world is like a crosswalk. It's not about how are you doing. It's about how can you get to what, where, why, and who you want to be.
There has to be a way to consolidate that.
Oh my God, it just hit me. We've been looking for like the simplest way of expressing all of this, right? Earlier we saw wild turkeys. When I went to Berkeley, I had to take a Native American Studies course, and we had to learn a little bit of the language Choctaw. They did not have a past or future tense. Everything took place in the present.
In the moment.
In the moment. The other thing was we saw wild turkeys, right?
Right.
One of the very few words I remember in Choctaw is the word for turkey.
And people who know Choctaw are people who want to check this out. This is true. The word for turkey in Choctaw is fuck it. So we went on a spiritual mission to discover what is the issue with society, why is society so unhappy, what they can do to alleviate their unhappiness, and we found fuck it.
There are so many bugs. But you know what those little bugs are, man? Trifles.
Holy macaroni. Ladies and gentlemen, Sammy Obeid.
It's all virtual. You're actually not here for those of you who are stoned. I have only one mask. It's red, and I live in a neighborhood of all Crips, so either way I'm gonna die. Forget these masks. I think we need magnets. Everybody wears a negative on negative magnet, so we all repel each other.
Of all the Zoom shows I've done, this feels the most like a real show, because it started late, and the host is doing too much time between the acts.
Does anybody here miss saying bless you when somebody sneezes? Now it's like, get the away from me. Are you just wrong?
I'm here is my closet, and I've got all kinds of shit. I got hats. Check it out. I got hats. Yeah. You want a fedora? I got a fedora. Look at this. Comedians, normally when we perform, we see the audience, but now because of the screen, we see ourselves. And when I see myself on screen, I realize my eyes are drooping. After the corona, I'm gonna go see a nice plastic surgeon that's just gonna pull my head back like that. You're gonna be like, Maz, something's different. What? Nothing's different. What are you talking about? I'm just a lot more alert. We actually get to see the count of participants. So you see right now there was 164, now there's 163. Some bastard just left. It better not be Shanto. Shanto, if you just left, you piece of
I am quarantining in this Barbie house, so my mom's from the Soviet Union. I'm begging her, don't go to Trader Joe's, their lines are crazy. And she's like, for me it's okay, wait in line for food, I don't mind, it's memory lane. Friends are texting me, we're not gonna buy anything from China anymore. You're texting me on an iPhone, you idiot.
Now, toilet paper is worth more than gold. You can't wipe your butt with gold. You can with toilet paper. So finally, it took COVID to make me understand how paper can defeat rock by being much more valuable. Now, I did just get the lights. That means it is time to start my set. So I will...
Anybody been on any walks? I feel like I retired, but without having to go through the difficulty of becoming a success. I know I retired because I got fully dressed to mail a letter.
I chose this as my background because nobody's using this room anymore. I don't think 5G causes coronavirus, because if it did, AT&T would charge me for it.
I don't really believe it came from China. I really think it came from people eating ham hock, bacon, chitlin sandwiches.
If I have antibodies, I'm putting it on my LinkedIn.
I wear hearing aids, and people often ask me, how much are you reading lips? And that this virus has happened and everybody is wearing a mask. I can tell you that the answer is 100% of the time.
Doesn't UTI sound like a technical college?
So the guy who recycles my stuff at my house, he's been recycling for like 3 weeks, and he finally left an AA pamphlet on my door.
I think it's so weird to call it special victims, because like, aren't all victims special? Can you imagine being the victim of a stabbing and you go in to report it at special victims unit and they're like, you just got stabbed, you're not special.
You ever go to Black Pool Party? That's just a party by a pool. There's no...
Remember when like people were like justifying their coughs? That's how when I knew it was bad. And just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I just smoked 3 blunts.
My girlfriend's like, wow, The Rock's a good actor. Who'd have thought The Rock? It's like, baby, you keep calling him The Rock. His name is Dwayne. Who is that iconic in their first role that you call them that for the rest of their life, except The Rock and Mr. Bean? That's acting.
We'll see you next week with more hot lineups. Thank you so much.
Here's why this show is special.
When I'm done, I'm not gonna log off. How much I'll pay? Exactly. Who cares who the performs next?
Tic-tac-toe, tic-tac-toe. Love to play the game. Tic-tac-toe. There's 9 squares you play. Put the X next to the O. The O next to the X. Call it tic-tac-toe. You'll have a lot of fun wherever you go. Playing this great game called tic-tac-toe.
But weed's illegal, and I think that's amazing that weed's illegal, but I don't think that's far enough. I think weed should be mandatory. I think everybody needs to try it at least once. Just get a little too high, look in the mirror for a little too long, think about all your fucking flaws, write them down, and fucking fix that shit, dude. That's what weed is there for, to make you aware of that shit. There's this stigma that weed is associated with ignorance. It's far from the truth, right? You hear people say, I don't smoke weed because it makes me depressed. That's not the weed, that's you. You are already depressed. The weed makes you aware of that shit. And you don't like being aware of things that are there. That means you're ignorant. You need to smoke weed and get rid of that. Like, there's different strains. You need to at least understand that. You can't just write off all the strains as equal. People go, every time I smoke weed, it makes me lazy. Because you smoked an indica strain and went to the gym. You're a fucking moron, dude. Learn the indica couch, okay? This is textbook marijuana 2020. Sativa's the one you can smoke at your job. I have the saying for that. Smoke sativa, you will achieve it. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. And hybrid just gets you high as dude. Hybrid just gets you high, man. Well, I don't smoke weed because it makes me stupid. That's not the weed, man. You're not using it for the right things. Try smoking weed and reading a book, okay? That'll be the hardest book you ever read. But if you can read a book high, you can climb Everest, man. I'm telling you. It's already hard enough to read a book sober. You ever been like 10 pages in a book? You're like, oh, I wasn't paying attention the whole time. I gotta go back now. Where was I?
What's up? This is Sammy Obeid, former math teacher, current youth mentor. Today we're gonna get high and solve the U.S. economy. This is Highest Truth. We're smoking strawberry banana, pretty good THC and CBD ratio, a little bit of CBD to kill the pain. 2 fruits, better than 1. Perfect. If you spit while you smoke, you get higher.
Hey Sammy, let me see a crossover. Go between the legs. Yep, no brown person's going to the NBA for a minute.
There's not one brown guy in the NBA?
0.
No,
0.
Come on, dude.
0, bro. 0.
Indians are the fastest growing ethnic group in America. So
it's coming.
Yes. Indians are going to be the most significant driver of the American economy.
But we're bad drivers, I don't know.
The economy, dude, this in your culture.
Just message.
Indians love spicy food, right?
Absolutely.
More spices.
More spices.
That's what America was founded on. The explorers came here to look for spices. Now you have Indians demanding spices, and we have to import those spices from all around the world because America's spice market, how do you say it? Bland. America is blessed in that we actually have all the climates. We have tropical, we have desert, we have vineyard. Grow more spices. So hopefully a few weeks ago, in Fremont, which is highly populated with Indian people, brown people, the spices were gone.
Right, what did you just say? It was highly populated with...
The fastest growing ethnic group in America. A guy I know hit me up for weed recently. That's where the economy is right now. The marijuana business should be blooming right now. Marijuana is medicine and we want medicine. People can't even get the medicine that we know is the best shot at killing COVID right now. So at least give them the marijuana. The fact that my friend was hitting me up for marijuana is a crime. That's a crime to my economy that I sold it to him for a very, very good price. If the government just allowed illegal drugs but made sure to test that they were certified organic, that is good Marie Kondo
checked energy. We can certify produce as organic, do it with the drugs. You will boom this economy. It'll create jobs instantly. And then you start with the organic heroin. I am running for president in 2036, and I advocate for legal, certified organic heroin in microdosed amounts.
Thoughts on cocaine?
Same comes from the coca plant, right?
Right.
The certified organic, make sure it has good energy, make sure there was not any weird stuff put into it. It should be fine.
Have you ever done salvia before? That's legal.
Salvia is legal, and it is the most terrifying drug I've ever done in my life. That shows you how stupid we are on drugs. That the loophole that a drug like salvia made it through, when cocaine, which gets you 100th of as high as a hit of salvia does.
Yeah, and that's generous still.
What we forget is that the way we measure the success of the economy are by a few indicators. Number one being employment. Employment is just a title. People can be employed and not work a single hour a week. There's people who actually do work, and there's people who have a job, but they don't do work. Like, we know those people. Imagine if everybody worked at their work. Now, how would this happen? It would be in a situation where people enjoyed what they do for a living. What really measures a country's economy is its GDP, its output, by how much we create. With a flick of a wand, we could say, oh, all 6 million of you are now employed. It's just a title. It means nothing. We've all been in relationships. It means nothing, right? Yeah. Every individual in this economy, take that step back and think, what can I actually offer the world that will create a substantial output that will help my economy, that I also enjoy doing, that's also going to make me rich so I can spend money and help bloom this economy while getting the things I want. Do I need to say it again?
Damn, bro, we're all gonna be selling weed in a couple of years, huh?
It could be, dude. Everybody's expecting the government to fix the economy for them. No, it's on your mentality and the mentality of the people around you. You can't make a law making them love what they do, but you can lead by example and show people that you love what you do and work very hard at it. That actually spreads like a virus. Diversify your portfolio, what you're good at and what you love, and do a lot of all of that stuff. But everybody needs to diversify a little bit more. That's why we're playing basketball. We're looking at these bricks where like local families and companies can buy a brick and donate to the school and sponsor the school essentially. I discovered this one right here. Where'd it go? Nagata Brothers Farm. Brought a tear to my eye because that was my first job. Nagata Brothers Farm was a produce stand down the street. It was the best job I ever had because I loved what I was doing. I loved being around produce. And I sold weed out of the back, making 3 times what I should have been making. I spent money like a good consumer. I was part of the economic boom of 1999. Thanks to selling weed, diversifying my portfolio, selling both fruit and spice.
Beautiful.
The thing is, the economy is not a binary thing. It's not either not running at all or completely running. It's a spectrum of in between. And that spectrum largely depends on our behavior. There's nothing stopping us from spending every waking moment of our day working on something that creates a product, a gross domestic product. There is nothing preventing us from using every dime that people are terrified of spending right now. There is nothing stopping you right now from turning on the Backstreet Boys, imagining that era that I was just speaking of, 1999, when the economy was thrusting with energy, and realize that it's back if you want it to be. And not only that, but the supermoon is rising above the hills. Look at it. That is a super moon. If the moon can do it, so can the economy. GDP is nothing but a circle. It's a pie chart with a percentage. Don't look at me, man. The moon, dude. Imagine that as the GDP. We need to get full like that. So why the can't we with the moon? What's up, y'all? This is Sammy Obeid, mathematician, comedian, and marijuana enthusiast. I'm about to get high and solve the world's biggest problem. This is Highest Truth. We're here in my parents' backyard. Fuck you, Mom. All right. Oh! I know that was creepy. I'm sorry.
I know, not a great time to be coughing. So, we're about to go for a walk. Get all creative. Yet another reason to get copper water bottles is the virus can only survive on them for 8 hours max. And it tastes good. If literally everything was just copper, we'd be a lot safer, right? Statue of Liberty, safe as fuck right now. Anybody who just has a lot of pennies, safe as fuck. I'm not banking on vaccine. I don't think there's a lot of money going into the pharmaceutical industry because every time I buy drugs, they're so cheap and nobody ever complains about how expensive drugs are. So there's no way they have the funding that they need to do it. But you know, that's why drug premiums are so high for R&D. We need this money for research. Woo! Penis pills. Let's see them put their R&D where the D is. People are still gonna be fucking bats, right? People think this think this is from eating bats. This shit is not from eating. Eating a bat, people would just get sick for a day. Somebody fucked a bat, all right? This screams bat. But viruses actually serve a very, very important function in evolution and biology. They help horizontal gene transfer. So viruses can take genes from one organism and take them to another, and a positive evolution can happen. We need to start looking at viruses as more of an opportunity than a setback. So really what we should be doing is fucking a lot of bats. Getting a lot of these diseases from these animals and putting them in like a petri dish and making one super vaccine. You make a vaccine for COVID-19 and then a COVID-20 comes out, then a COVID-21 comes out. Dude, put all the COVIDs in one, make one super vaccine, throw a little Ebola in there. I mean, listen, if the Europeans never got the plague, who would we be as a species right now? Probably less colonialism, but still, we can't let lack of beds be a deterrent to our treatment of the sick. Why can't we have hospital air mattresses? A futon, we get hospital futons, then it's a waiting chair for the people in the waiting room, and then you're like, no, you guys gotta get up, we gotta use it in the futon. There we go. Every time I go to Sleep World or Sleep Train, they're always empty. Use your inventory, start sending it over to hospitals. We need to think about what the problem is here, right? We have a virus that's attacking us where? In our lungs. We need to get it out. You gotta literally blow the virus out of your lungs. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, people are losing work. They don't have a career. So what do we need? Blow jobs. Literally kids are running at us right now, trying to infect us. The kids started running, going like this, and going, oh, I'm gonna get you. Like that's what just happened to us.
Big jihadi energy.
Yeah. I think we need to separate the kids from the adults. Out here walking, high as fuck, right? I did forget that my parents are out here walking too. This is not planned, this is not staged. Just keep it cool, just keep chill. Nobody knows what's going on. Hey guys. Hey, all right.
Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hey guys.
What are you guys doing?
Hey, you guys are kind of close. Separate. This is an example of why this isn't so bad. If you're a kid and you're trying to get high and you don't want your parents to know, when they can get up in your face and they see your bloodshot eyes and they hear your cotton mouth, they smell the weed on you, you're caught. My parents wouldn't even get within 6 feet of me. They have no fucking idea I'm high right now. It's legal, bro. Dystopian, bro. That's dopian. Come on, man.
Hello, and welcome to my story of my car accident from a few weeks ago. I was in a car accident in an Uber pool, because I'm doing well, and we were on the freeway, and we crashed into a stopped car, and you guys want to know what race the driver was. That's what you want to know. I can tell. You're all asking me, what race was the driver? What race was he? And he was old. He was very old. The other driver was Asian. So we were sitting there, stopped on the freeway, and this old dude and this young, confused Asian kid don't know what to do, and we all have to exchange information. So I end up putting all of us in a group chat together. and we send all of our driver's license and insurance information to each other. And I have to explain to these guys, it's their first time in a group chat. I have to tell them, group chats are not meant for this. Group chats are meant to send each other memes and to demean men, you know? If you've ever sent a dick pic out, we've seen it in a group chat. And then I had to, after the accident, I had to go to the hospital. So I had to decide how I was getting there because, like, do I call another Uber? Is that gonna hold up in court? Like, are they just gonna say I kept going back to my abuser? Or what do I do? So then I end up calling my friend, and he takes me to the hospital. And I find out while at the hospital that the most painful part of a car accident is finding out how much you really weigh. Turns out their technology for that is excellent. And insurance doesn't cover lipo, so great. The other rough part of going to the hospital was I went to get x-rays done, and the x-ray tech found out that I knew some medical terminology, and so he asked me what I did for my career. And I told him I had just quit my PhD to do stand-up, and he was like, no. I was like, yes, I'm so sorry, and then I just started crying. And then he said that his son also does something like what I do. And I said, what does your son do? And he said, oh, you know, he's just an actor. He acts a little bit. And I said, what has he acted in? And he's like, oh, he's just in this little movie coming out. And I was like, what movie? And he was like, oh, he just plays LeBron James's younger self in the new Space Jam. So that was fun to hear. But I thought it was amazing. I thought this guy had accomplished the American dream. He came from Congo, was an x-ray technician, and then had a child who was gonna make more than he's ever made in his life in one check and never respect him again. That's the American dream. It's beautiful. Then the other part of this story is that while I was at the hospital for several hours, I was hitting on everyone. I was hitting on the doctors, the nurses, the other patients, because why not? But I think it was rough for me because as I was hitting on the nurses, they were misgendering me. They were like, sir, I'm not interested. So I left without getting any, even though my whole ass was out the entire time. Anyways, that's my story. Give me money, Uber.
I'm sure they will.
I hope so.
That's why I lived. I'm recovering from a cold. I feel much better now. Whenever I get sick, I always feel like I'm gonna die. I'm terrified of viruses, man. Viruses hate human beings. They hate us because we didn't give them a kingdom in the classification system. Right, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. There's 6 kingdoms of classification in the system, all right? There's animals, there's plants, there's fungus. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Had to pick someone for that. Bacteria gets 2 kingdoms. Oh, the double sweet. Thank you very much. And then the last one is protists, which is algae. Seriously? Algae made the cut? Do you think viruses are a little bit pissed about that? Like, algae? What? We're killing people on a daily, all right? We have the common cold coming out with a new release every year. We had Ebola putting us on the map last year. We're the reason you wear condoms. You're terrified of us. We are viruses. How many more have to die till we get a kingdom? I guess what I'm trying to say is free Palestine. I don't really know.
And I guess we just gotta take it day by day, you know?
Yeah.
That's all we could do. Cause sense of normalcy only returns when everyone agrees it does, and like we're just nowhere close to that.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna end this.
All right. Okay.
Unless you have any final thoughts.
Yeah, I do have a final thought. And that is that nothing has ever been normal. That is a complete human fallacy to assume that we left normal and we're in a non-normal. Your life was never normal. You always were complaining about something or thinking that things were amazing, which is not normal. Things are not always amazing. You hear that plane? That's normalcy. The plane's still flying. Oh, we're in some crazy situation. There's a plane still taking passengers during a pandemic. How not normal is that? It's pretty normal. So there's this sense that normalcy has been lost when really there never was normalcy. Every day is a new normal. if you look at it that way. So use the opportunity of departing this false sense of normalcy to realize that life is as normal as you want it to be, and you always have the chance to create anew. And this is that on a massive level of human consciousness. So, going back to, are we going to get back to normal? No, and we shouldn't want to. We should always want to progress and evolve. Because if the monkeys always wanted to go back to normalcy, they'd still be normal-ass monkeys.
What is your ideal goal? Is there any way to merge like your passion for kind of like the mathematics and stuff?
Yeah.
With comedy into some kind of like a science show or?
So that's one of the things that I have in the works right now.
Cool.
And it's taking a while to pitch to the right people because a lot of people in the industry, they either don't like math or they don't think the public will like math. But I tell them they're wrong because half of us are good at math. There's math people, there's language people.
Yeah.
So you're good at one or the other. So half of the world is gonna dig the math.
That's a big demo.
Yeah, it's a big demographic.
Right.
Meanwhile, I do jokes with math in them and see how they work in the different parts of the
Oh,
country.
here's the thing. I'm horrific at math.
Yeah.
I cheated my entire way through school, all the way up in college. I never took a math test. I always had someone else take it for me, or I copied it. I can't even do long division. So if you want to try out something and see if it resonates with me.
Yes, I am also available for tutoring.
Okay, I've actually kind of given up. I'm like, that ship has sailed.
Okay, you want me to do a math joke?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm obsessed with math. I dated a girl for 2 years just because her birthday is March 14th.
Okay, I got
314 Pi Day, right?
Yeah,
That's a math man's fetish, right? I saw that date. I went from parallel to perpendicular, if you know what I mean. I went from 0 to 90 real quick. And she didn't even like math either. She loved pot as much as I love math. Then I found out she was dating me because my birthday's 420. So it all came back around full circle. Get it circled because circumference equals pi times the D I gave her. Thank you so much. That's the math.
He worked a lot of concepts in there.
You got it. See, you got it. You got it all.
Yeah, and I hate math, but I know pi. I know what a right angle. I know all that. I know what perpendicular and so you know what? You can even say, hey, I tried it on someone who knows nothing about math, and even they liked it.
I'm going to save this clip and show it to every industry
Please.
person.
I loved it. That was hilarious.
Thank you.
Majority of people that get coronavirus will have mild to moderate symptoms, but the key is if you're getting flu-like symptoms, you need to quarantine yourself.
Even the sniffles, even a sore throat,
Yes.
even a fever.
For up to 14 days, there are some cases where even up to 21 days of quarantine is fine.
For God's sakes, do not fly. Get off the plane.
Right.
Let non-sick people get on the planes.
Reduce the chance of spreading more germs. So wash your hands, wash your hands. And here's the thing, you can wash your hands even when there's not a pandemic going around. Face masks, they won't necessarily help prevent the spread, but if you're having symptoms, it's a polite thing to do. At least it'll prevent you from touching your face.
And may I add something that I'm not seeing in any news outlet?
What?
Build your immunity. Focus on your immunity.
Yes.
Get extra rest. Take care of yourself. Eat better foods right now. This is not a time to be stuffing your face with ice cream because when you overeat, it creates excess in the body, which allows a flu-like virus to take over your body because it's susceptible. Build your immunity. Eat well, rest well, think positive thoughts, meditate, exercise the right amount, not too much. Don't stay out in the cold. Bundle up. Do everything you can to be a virus-fighting machine, and you will be fine, and you will make sure the people around you are fine.
I mean, look, I come from the Western school of thought, and I agree 100% with everything you've said. So
Eastern, Western approved.
We are in alignment for this. So, yeah.
We can fight it, guys.
So I know it looks like I don't play any sports. I used to play sports. I played like soccer, basketball, ran track. I also played baseball. Baseball is not my favorite sport to play because it's too slow. There's a lot of pausing. It's not like dynamic the way other sports can be. It's a lot of pressure on one person, especially like the pitcher. All the attention is focused on the pitcher when he has the ball, or they have the ball. I was pitcher for my middle school team. We were terrible. I don't think we won a game for the 2 years I was on the team. Maybe one, maybe just one, but not more than that. I was pitcher. and the pressure often got to me. It was terrible, and but I could throw it fast and straight enough that it was like good enough for middle school. It was like 13 or 14, and that's all you need at that age. One of the other teams we played against had a girl on the team, and I was pitcher against her, and she came up to bat. And so when you're 13, your hormones are in your brain, and you're like a crazy person. You don't know which way. You never know what to do. So uncomfortable all the time, and my mind is racing. I'm going, okay, do I pitch it fast to her, like, and treat her like everybody else, but then everyone gets mad that I didn't take it easy on her, or do I throw it real slow and like patronize her, and like, but like people get mad at me for not treating her equally? I don't know what to do. I'm just standing there for so long. The umpire goes, "Okay, kid, got to get the game going. Like, let's play the baseball game." And so I have the ball in my hands, and then at the last like split second, I decide I'm gonna throw it slow. Whatever, that's it. I mean, and I lob it towards her, and as soon as it leaves my hand, I know it's bad. Because when you pitch fast, it goes straight, but when you throw it slowly, like, you don't have the same accuracy. And I lobbed it right at her, and it's going for her. And in my recollection, it takes probably 20-25 minutes for the ball to reach her, and she has so much time to move out of the way. But she turns her back, hits her square in the back, and just, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. The other team, of course, they're defensive of her. It's their teammates. They rush the field. They're like, they get up and they start saying, "Hey, what the hell, man? Why did you do that?" They could see that I was like, "I am so sorry. I didn't know what to do. I just panicked. I'm so sorry." So that's how I almost got beat up pitching too slowly.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, me too.
Champ.
I don't want Hillary to be president, not because she's a woman at all, but because, and I'm going to open up to you guys, because she's a Scorpio. And as an Aquarius, I find them very overbearing. Okay? Any Scorpios here tonight? You're great people, great friends. I just don't want to give you my power. That's all. You know what I mean? This guy's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But that's how I vote. I like to make sure I'm zodiac compatible with my president. It's no better than how any other American votes. Believe me. It's probably better. That's how I go my intuition, you know, like Bill Clinton, Obama, they're Leos, that's stable for me, you know, they're great dancers, life of the party, great hair, like if Obama grew out his hair, we'd probably re-elect him. Ronald Reagan, not a fan of his policy, but he was an Aquarius, I respected he was creative, artistic, Star Wars, Reaganomics, that's some creative thought right there. Only an Aquarian would think of that. Naps in the office, that's the artist lifestyle I can relate to. How about this, you guys give me the zodiac sign, I'll tell you the president that matches it. Gemini, JFK. Everybody loved him, but he had a secret life. That's the two sides of the Gemini. Ask not what your country can do for you, because I'm over here banging Marilyn Monroe right now, right? Let's keep this on the DL. Libra, Jimmy Carter. Oh, love that guy. Humanitarian, very fair, tough time making decisions. He installed solar panels in the White House, then Reagan came out, ripped him out just to be a dick. Because we get a little moody, you know what I mean? Aries, Thomas Jefferson, sexually motivated. Yeah. Manifest destiny, that's a horny man's concept. Whole country. Capricorn, Nixon, scandalous. Has some secrets, sweats under pressure. Sagittarius, Martin Van Buren, check out those sideburns. Those trend-setting sideburns. Took about 200 years for them to catch on. But that's a Sagittarian. They're way ahead of their time in fashion. Cancer, George W. Bush. Some people love him, some people hate him. But like a Cancer, he found his way into the White House. He found his way into Iraq. He goes by his gut, gets a little crabby sometimes. He's a Cancer. What's next? Pisces, George Washington. All about that money, dollar bills, y'all, okay? He was the richest president of all time, and that factors in current inflation as well. And he led us across the Potomac River because they're fishes, they're good with water. Our first president was a fish. Taurus, Harry Truman, stubborn, thick-skinned, made the decision to drop the bomb.
Other Taurus rulers include Saddam Hussein and Hitler. Let's be careful on that one as well. Keep an eye out for the bull. I think there's one more left. We did Leo, we did Capricorn. The last one is Virgo, and this is my favorite one. Only one Virgo president in history. Every other sign has multiple presidents. Virgo only has one president in history, and that was LBJ, who only became president because of an assassination. Virgos don't like the limelight. That is the only way to get a Virgo to be president. You make them vice president, you kill the president. Don't quote me on that. And that is the Zodiac Wheel of Presidents. Thank you so much.
No, it should be good.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling the front yard. This is Stephanie. How can I help you?
Hello. We would like to order for takeout, please.
Okay, let me go ahead and transfer you. Hollywood and the unique NoHo art.
You ready, Sam?
All right, this is gonna be good. Who we calling?
I forgot.
For it to go.
I'd like some French fries and some pies and some cake. Ice cream, please. With some wings.
Yeah.
Give me all them fixings and things.
Yeah, let me get the freaking fries. I don't even know, cause you know I don't want to deny. Do you guys sell burgers or freaking steak? Because you know my takeout can't be late, yo.
Yeah, I'm hungry as hell. Do you have anything for sale?
You guys like that or?
What was that? What was that?
I said, did y'all write that or? I mean, it wasn't bad.
Hold on. We got our friend Nick that needs to order too. Hold on, go ahead, Nick.
One more.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, do you happen to have some tiramisu? Because that would really do me good. I like your food. I got 5 stars on Yelp reviews about you. You're the best, and you handsome. You're the most handsome.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, what's your name?
Gerald, right now I'm speaking. It's Gerald.
Gerald! Oh, Gerald! Oh, Gerald! Oh, Gerald! It's the Gerald! Oh, Gerald! Oh, Gerald!
Hey, Gerald, you on the Wings of Love podcast. You better look this up before you last. Wings of Love, sexy time. That's what we call all the time. We call you. We order food. What kind of food do you serve up?
Yeah, Gerald, thank you very much. Oh, damn, we'll freaking keep in touch. Oh, man, follow us on Instagram at Wings of Love Sexy Time, Gerald.
There you go, Gerald. Yeah, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald, are you going to follow us? Are you going to follow us, Gerald?
Follow you guys? No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Why, Gerald? Why?
He doesn't want to follow 4 dudes.
I know.